I wish you the best of luck.
Are we to stand around deliberating all day, or shall we play? To field of combat.
With Bridgerton Season 4 slowly making its way toward us, fans are already buzzing about finally seeing Benedict Bridgerton take center stage. That alone is exciting, because Benedict has been waiting in the wings for a while now, but there's something the series really needs to fix if it wants to keep the magic alive. And it's not just about who gets the next love story, it's about how the show treats its past couples after their big romantic arcs. Now, for anyone who doesn't already know, Bridgerton is based on Julia Quinn's popular book series. Each season is meant to follow one of the Bridgerton siblings as they find love, and the show's been mostly sticking to that structure. We started with Daphne in Season 1, moved on to Anthony in Season 2, and then Season 3 jumped ahead to focus on Colin. That means Benedict got skipped, even though his story is the focus of the third book. Thankfully, Season 4 is going back to give Benedict the spotlight he missed, with his romance with Sophie Beck finally getting the attention it deserves. That being said, the show has a pattern that's starting to wear thin. Every time a new couple gets introduced, the previous couple basically disappears. After Season 1, Simon completely vanished, and Daphne only showed up in a few scenes in Season 2, and then poof, she was gone in Season 3. And while Anthony and Kate were the stars of Season 2, they barely made an appearance in Season 3. Apparently, they'll have limited screen time in Season 4 too, which is a bit frustrating. Now sure, Rege-Jean famously left after the first season, and that's fair enough. It's understandable why he hasn't returned, but that explanation doesn't really work for characters like Daphne, Anthony, and Kate. For example, Daphne didn't even show up for Colin's or Francesca's weddings, which just feels off. And Anthony and Kate skipping Francesca's wedding? That's even stranger, considering how close the siblings are supposed to be. The show doesn't offer any real reasons for these no-shows, which only makes their absence feel more awkward. Hopefully, Season 4 will handle things differently. The good news is that Colin and Penelope might be changing that trend. Since Penelope is Lady Whistledown, she kind of has to be around. After all, the mysterious gossip writer is one of the key elements of the show's entire vibe. And unlike Paget or Jonathan Bailey, Luke Newton, who plays Colin, hasn't become such a breakout star that he's too busy to return. That leaves the door open for both Colin and Penelope to remain actively involved in Season 4. If the show does keep them around in a bigger way, it'll mark the first time Bridgerton hasn't just tossed a couple aside once their story wrapped. That would be a great shift, because it gives the series a chance to evolve, not just focusing on new romances every season, but also exploring what happens after the big romantic gesture. Like, we could actually see a couple dealing with parenthood or navigating married life, which would add some nice depth to the show. And let's face it, Bridgerton can't keep running on fresh love stories alone. If every main couple disappears after their happy ending, it's only a matter of time before the audience starts to check out. People grow attached to these characters, so it's a little disappointing when they just vanish, especially when you consider that Hyacinth and Gregory still have their stories coming down the line. If the show's still going strong by the time their seasons roll around, viewers will want to see that the earlier Bridgertons are still part of the family's journey, not just names in the background. Now, when Season 3 dropped, we also saw Francesca stepping into the spotlight. Her story kicked off with her marriage to John Sterling, and we got to watch their relationship unfold in a sweet, understated way. But it was the moment Francesca met John's cousin Michaela Sterling that really caught viewers' attention. There was an instant spark, and it clearly set up Francesca's future romance, which most fans think will be the focus of Season 6, since her story is the 6th book in the series. But this brings up another weird issue. Daphne's absence is becoming even more noticeable. With Ruby Stokes stepping away and Hannah Dodd taking over as Francesca, you'd think it'd be important for the show to show some kind of interaction between her and Daphne. But nope, Phoebe Dynevor, who plays Daphne, and Dodd have never shared a single scene together. That feels like a missed opportunity, especially when you realize how similar the two actresses look. It would have been nice to at least have Daphne present to support Francesca during her wedding, just like a big sister would in real life. Sadly, Dynevor isn't expected to return for Season 4 either, which means this sisterly connection probably won't happen anytime soon. And considering that she's already been absent for a whole season, fans shouldn't get their hopes up too high. It's understandable. Actor exits happen all the time, and Dynevor may just be ready to move on. But that doesn't make it any less strange to see Daphne completely erased from a show that started with her. What's even more frustrating is how easy it would have been to include her. She doesn't need a big storyline. Just a couple of scenes at family gatherings or weddings would go a long way. Something to make it feel like these siblings still matter to each other, even after their individual arcs have wrapped. Because right now, the show is starting to feel a little disconnected. As for Francesca, it's clear she'll have a bigger role moving forward, especially now that her love story is heating up. And with Michaela now part of the picture, her journey is going to bring something fresh and exciting to the series. It also helps that Dodd seems to be sticking around, which provides some stability for once. There was also a lot of chatter among fans when Dodd was cast as the new Francesca. Some people on Reddit even pointed out how strange it is that she's never been in a scene with Daphne, despite their characters being sisters. A bunch of fans also said they hope Dynevor does return, at least for Francesca's big season. It's something that could really tie things together and offer a bit of emotional payoff. The reason behind the Francesca recasting, by the way, was pretty straightforward. Ruby Stokes had a scheduling conflict because she was starring in Lockwood & Company, another Netflix series. That show ended up getting cancelled after just one season, which is unfortunate, but it opened the door for Dodd to step in. Since then, Stokes has been popping up in other shows like The Burning Girls and The Jetty, so she's definitely keeping busy. All things considered, it's pretty clear that Bridgerton needs to rethink how it handles its characters after their spotlight fades. Ignoring couples like Simon and Daphne or Anthony and Kate only makes the world of the show feel less rich. With a big ensemble like this, there's room to let old favorites hang around even as new romances unfold. Now, that doesn't mean everyone needs a huge subplot every season, but a few scenes here and there would help keep the family feeling intact. Luckily, Season 4 might just be the turning point. If Colin and Penelope do get more screen time and continue to be part of the main story, that could set a new precedent. The show has already done a bunch of great things, but this is one area where it really needs to grow. Because when Bridgerton treats its previous couples like they're disposable, it chips away at the emotional core that makes these love stories so powerful in the first place. In the end, whether or not Daphne ever returns or Francesca becomes the fan favorite many expect her to be, one thing is clear: Bridgerton works best when it remembers its roots. The romance might be the heart of each season, but the family is the soul of the show. And if Season 4 can finally find a way to honor both, then the future of the Bridgerton world will be in very good hands.